Hey everyone, my name is Amanda Goodrich. I am from Akron, Ohio, and I am proud to say that I am a survivor of childhood sexual abuse. So I can basically say that my trauma started out when I was like 4 years old, and it started with my stepbrother. I don't really know much about his home life. I knew that my stepfather and his mother, the mother of my stepbrother, they didn't get along a lot. They fought a lot, mostly about my stepbrother. So I just don't really know all what came of that. But it just mostly started out from him just touching me a lot when no one was around. But we were always by ourselves. We were always entertaining ourselves because our parents were just always worried about themselves, kind of. They didn't really bother us a lot. They kind of were like just go in your room, leave us alone. So he took full advantage of that, I believe. Um, it just started out with just touching, putting his hands down my pants when we'd be watching TV, um, coming up beside me, behind my back. There'd be a few times where he slept in the living room on the couch. But there'd be times where I wake up and he'd be crawling in my bed and he would like lay down with me as if we were a married couple. I didn't think nothing of it, to be honest with you. At that time, he was like my only friend, my only confidant, my only another person. And that's what I now realize was the grooming stage and the I'm learning more about this stuff, but it was basically the grooming stage, and he kind of filled filled me out and knew he can get over with it because for one, my parents really didn't listen to me. They didn't pay me any attention. Two, I was going through the ugly duckling syndrome. I was not as cute as a lot of the kids. As I was not. I was weird. I wore weird clothes. My mother bought me clothes from the thrift store, and they were not nice clothes. So I walked around like a hot mess at a young age. So to be honest with you, and it's very sad, most people, adults, were trying to avoid me. So it was complete full advantage for a predator to go after me because no one wanted to be around me or paying attention to me. It's funny, ain't it? Nah. But that came about it. And the reason, to be honest, the only reason why it ended is my mother. This is not to talk mess about her or anything, but it's the honest to God truth. When I told my mother what was going on with my stepbrother, she honestly only did something about it because she didn't even want my stepbrother around to begin with. My stepdad married her, and she kind of was just like, this is your family now. Get with it. And so, honestly, when I told her it, she was like expressive. She was like, oh my God, I can't believe this happened to you. I'm so sorry. But really, in the end of the day, she kind of just went over to my stepdad and she was like, your son's touching my daughter. I want him at my house, never here again. She kind of had a grin while saying it. It was kind of like a ha ha. Now we can get rid of him. It wasn't even she was kind of really trying to protect me or defend me. It was more of a oh good. He's touching you good now. I ain't got to deal with him no more. And then that started the saga of my trauma. And then we go to the main perpetrator of all was my adopted uncle Kimi. I am gonna say his name because he took full on advantage of me as a child. I stayed the night at my grandma's house, and my grandma's house, she adopted a lot of children and took them in. So, and all these children came from various crazy home lives. So, I can already say right now from my Uncle Kimi, he had whatever going on when he got to my grandma's home, when she took him in. So, my grandma, just gonna be honest with you, she was lazy, she stayed in bed all the time, and she had her adopted older children babysitting her actual blood grandchildren. And we all were basically assigned to one person or another. I was assigned to Kimi. And it first started out with the grooming process with him. He just always wanted to be my friend. He was always by me. He was always trying to protect me. He was always trying to be my best friend. He knew my parents and them didn't pay me any mind, so he was always trying to pay me mind. Always letting me know, like, oh, you're special, you're valuable, you're beautiful, you're this, you're awesome. Oh my God, you could play video games real well. Wow. Then it came to the point where HBO and stuff just started to come out, and all the crazy rated R movies and pay-per-view porn started coming out, and I was introduced to it at a young age. He showed it to me, and I mean, I was at that age where I was trying to be grown, and I was listening to my peers. So I'm thinking this is what we're supposed to look at. So I'd be watching it. I'd just be like, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. And it just, things that a child shouldn't see. It just is like a drug. It just was in my mind. It was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. I like this. I like this. I like this. And then he would like turn it off. And I'd be like, hey, I was watching that. And that's when he'd be, you gotta do what they're doing if you want to watch more. And then it just became of that. I don't even want to get into specifics of it. All I can say is we definitely partaked in everything that you would see in a porno. It was reenacted in his room in his attic. I still can. I it's sad because it happened to me so many years ago, but I can still smell the room. I can still smell his breath. I can still smell like the the I can still smell the mustiness of his underwear. Let me just say that. I like no what like how would anybody lie about that or make that up or even like come up with that scenario? But like literally, I can still smell the mustiness from his body. That's how much he was up on me. That I can still like. I still get a cringe just thinking about it. I'll just leave it from there. But it got to the point where it was getting really bad, and I guess I was displaying behaviors that teachers and counselors were really starting to not really like per se, and they were questioning my mom. And so my teachers and my mom were asking me like, "What happened to you?" And I told them what was happening to me, and it was a big deal. Like there was all these people. They were honestly trying to help, I feel. And my mother got overwhelmed and she wanted it honestly to stop. And not even to protect me, it just she wanted it to stop and like basically push it under the rug. Because I honestly feel now that I've grown older from it, I honestly feel like she just wanted to it was a huge slap in her face as a parent because I believe honestly no parent wants something to happen to their child, and when you are getting like bombarded with all these people saying something happened to your child, and then you're gonna have the people who are very worried, very like nurturing, and they're gonna say, oh my God, oh, what happened? But then you're gonna have some people who are on the sidelines saying, you really let that happen to your kid though? You're not as good of a parent as you think you are. And it just became that. And I feel like my mother mostly listens to the negative side more than the positive and reassuring side. And she kind of just went off the deep end. My family did too. I don't even speak to my family per se because I feel like they just wanted to sweep it under the rug too. Because it just was a lot at the time. And it made everybody have to take accountability. And unfortunately, when you're living in a dysfunctional home, nobody wants to take accountability for it. Something as so disturbing as hearing that, especially adopted person. Who wants to hear that they adopted somebody, took somebody in as a child, and then this child just did all this mess up under their nose? It's just gonna make everybody want to just shut it up, shut it down. I don't want to hear about it. So as a young child, now almost 6, 7 years old, I'm getting interrogated. I remember sitting down with my mother, and my mother was just like, okay, Amanda, we're going to go to court, possibly, and you need to have all your ducks in a row because, for one, you're trying to put a black man in jail, and that's not right for you to do. I was already treated like I was already treated like I was the villain. I was already treated like I was a liar, uh, um, uh, just someone out to get attention, just someone out to just make a whole bunch of mess, a whole bunch of chaos. A lot of responsibility on my end. I mean, I was technically the victim in this situation, but I ended up being more than the villain than anything. So my mother's like coming at me and like she's like coming at me like she's in my face and she's saying, what was he wearing? What were you wearing that day?" And then I'm telling her, I was like, okay, I was wearing a blue shirt, I was wearing my jeans, I was wearing this, he was wearing that, we were in here. And then she would mix up the questions. She'd be like, okay, but what were you wearing when you went there? And I just would tell her, and she just would go off and she's like, see, you said that you were wearing a red shirt, but now, man, now you're saying you're wearing a blue shirt. See, now you're lying. You're lying. You're trying to put a black man in jail, and you are wrong for that. You're a liar. You're just trying to get attention. Why are you trying to get attention? Do you know how you're going to make me look? Do you know what the town is going to say? Do you know they're going to take you away? They're going to put you in a foster home, and they're going to have you in this bunk bed made of, like, you get everything you want. You get McDonald's, you get this, you get that, you get presents, you get gifts. Man, when you go to foster home, you don't get no gifts. You don't get nothing. You don't get no love. You think you're getting touched then? Oh, you're going to get touched all the time. So it was a lot of responsibility and stress on my part as a child, because I'm just like, well, wait a minute, hold up. So I had this happen to me, and I'm the one that's going to suffer. I'm gonna be the one that looks crazy, and this is a child. Me thinking this, I'm like, wait a minute, hold up. You're trying to tell me that this happened to me, and I'm gonna have to have pain and suffering from people because this happened to me. I'm wrong for even speaking out. So I just kept it all in. I suppressed it. I let it go because I felt like that was the best thing ever. My mother said things happened to her as well, and she just believed that not saying anything at all was the best medicine. And it was that I believed it was for a certain amount of time. I believed it was the best medicine. It honestly wasn't because it led me to be very promiscuous when I got to be a teenager. I was just always having weird emotional attachments to people. I was always trying to see if people were always having an agenda on me or just wanted to use me or just hurt me in any type of way, shape, or form. And honestly, I now that I'm just learning and thinking back on it, I just don't know what all was going through my mind. It's still new to me. I'm still trying to figure it out through this day. But honestly, I just knew that I was lied to, and I was made to feel like something was wrong with me for what happened to me, but it wasn't my fault, and it's not true that I think we're just given this lie when things like this happen to us as a child because the world, for to be honest with you, the world does not like pedophiles. The world does not like things like this happening to children. I have been around nothing but strangers, and I have been around nothing but love and real, actual, genuine feelings that I have with family and my peers and the people I've been around. That's why I'm not currently in my hometown. I have moved twice from my hometown because it is toxic and it is dysfunctional and it never ends, unfortunately. So that's one thing you need to know is it is not the world that's a problem. It is the people around you. Nobody with their right mind would tell a child who's gone through any type of trauma that it is their fault, they are wrong, and that they need to let it go for the sake of everyone. Because at the end of the day, it's really your family's issue and it's their problem. And they are so vain that they believe that your situation is going to make them look bad. So they have to shut it down and put it in, they have to stuff it under the rug super bad to where no one, they believe that everyone is paying them attention and no one is paying them any type of attention. People just don't want kids out here getting hurt, honestly. They don't like that. They don't want that. and they want to avoid it at all costs. And unfortunately, it took a lot for me to do this video segment because I did not want to like bash my family. I didn't want to bash my mother. I didn't want to bash the people who have taken part of doing me any type of wrong, because honestly at this point it's starting to be well forgiven, because I just know at the end of the day that people are people. Everybody had their reasons for what they did, and I'm just healing from it and taking the best out of it and being better for my children and the children that I'm around now, and breaking those habits, breaking those generational curses and everything. And the best thing I can say for anybody who's dealt with any type of childhood trauma, sexually, mentally, physically, any type of way, know that the first thing that you should do is do not be quiet about it. Don't suppress it. Don't let it go. You do not let it go. You just pinned it and put it off for later. And still, even when you put it off for later, you still have flashbacks about it. You still think about it. You still reenact certain things. You still have myth that I'm gonna get out there too. That I was really, really like bombarded with when I was a child is the, do you want to send a black man to jail? I'm just gonna say this off rip, and it is something that's always gonna make me mad anytime I hear it. There is no race, gender, and age of a predator. None. And I'm gonna say this too. Anybody who's a real black person, they don't want to even claim nobody who is like that. No real white person wants to claim that that person is a part of their brotherhood or sisterhood if they are like that. No Chinese person, no Mexican person. And unfortunately, that is not true. That my mother even said this. She said this is more of a white household situation. My mother would say that this mostly happens in white homes, not black homes. That is a lie, a biggest lie. If anything, minority homes have the most cases of sexual abuse, because most predators who are in those situations, they know that there is a distrust with the police. They know that people aren't going to go to the authorities and report it or do anything about it, because it has been proven and shown that innocent men have been put on trial for false allegations. It is true that it was easy for someone to pick up the phone and say that this man did this to me, and people locked them up, threw away the key, and thought nothing of it, even though this person didn't even know who this woman was or this child was. And it was very easy for parents to go to the child and say, this person did this, this, and this to you, and you're going to keep that. And it is true. It is wrong, but it is not every case by case scenario. That is not true. Anybody who says that that's not happening to black people is a total lie. If anything, I've been around a lot of black children, and and I can think many hands how many kids have told me that things have happened to them. I've actually heard more about black children or Mexican children being sexually molested than I have white children. So it's not true at all. That stereotypical nonsense is so crazy, I don't even want to hear it. But all in all, I've just been learning to just be a better person. I'm a married woman now. I have 2 boys. And I'm just learning now how to get through the trauma of being a survivor of sexual abuse. And like I said, the best thing you can do is just tell somebody what's going on. Even if you're just telling a stranger, even if you just pick up your laptop, you pick up your phone, and you just sit here and you speak your story, that's literally the best medicine. Like, I honestly feel healed just being able to say that something happened to me. I honestly feel better and feel more at ease saying something. And you are. You're gonna get backlash. You're gonna get people who come on here and they're gonna tell you it's your fault. They're gonna tell you, why are you posting this? Because you're trying to get attention, you're trying to get likes, you're trying to get clout, you're trying to get this, you're trying to get that. You're gonna have family members who are gonna come at you and tell you that how dare you make them look like a bad person or anything. And it's not for them. It's for you. It's for you to get clarity. And there are people who are looking and watching. Unfortunately, even if thousands of people say that you're crazy, there's still 80% of other people who are gonna say thank you. And I didn't know that was happening to you. This is actually happening to me as well, and I just needed somebody to say something. There are thousands of people who make videos and say that certain things happen to them, but a lot of people need a soul tie. They need a different person, a different voice, a different face, a different this, a different that. You don't know if your face, your words, your story, your journey, your successes, your weaknesses, your flaws, your skills, and your strengths can actually be the window to somebody else coming out and it healing them as well. There may be thousands of people who say this happened to them, but there's probably a hell of people who they don't even want to hear them thousands of people. They wanted to hear someone like you say it. And that's what made me get up this fine early morning and say, you know what, I am going to make my video and speak a little bit about my childhood life and just let people know that, hey, you are not alone. Don't be scared. Don't feel bad about it. I'm so, so, so sorry that happened to you. And know that my DM is open. I'm here for you guys, and I want to be the best sister I can for you during these times and struggles. And everybody, please protect your children, protect your loved ones. Even if that kid is not yours, please just lay an eye on them, a watchful eye on them, and make sure they're okay and loved. And let's just make the world a better place day by day. The world is getting better, whether people believe it or not. Just keep that harmony, and everything else will just go from there. Again, my name is Amanda. Have a good day.